So some lies that are being told on the internet, and you can see that these are pro-censor people. These are people who support censorship. They openly discuss that the censorship is something they enjoy. They delight in it. Okay, you understand? It's a sign of the character of the person. If they delight in censorship and they giggle and they go, hoo, I'm sinless and I really I enjoy the censoring of people. That's not a character, it's not a slightly off character. You understand? When you think about righteousness, it is a hierarchy of things. There's different levels of righteousness. That's a biblical truth, not the absolution of everything is one and, the sinners are saints. That's what these giggling people think. That's what they're promoting. And believe it, they're not of an integrity that's beneficial to society. You understand? It's of an integrity that's non-beneficial. And really, I've discussed what this situation is. When you become mindless and in adhesion to the beast's mind system, you become the bulwark of the world. The 666 is the carbon molecule. Okay, so they're so divine that they've just become a conduit of, the divinity, but they gain the world but lose their soul. That's the issue. That's what goes on. And it's clear, as a theorem of, procession, what that entails. And it perfectly describes these people because they're just, so divine. And it's what's the divine part? The reality of their chemical makeup. That's it. The carbon outside of them. Their beliefs and free will and their decision making. That's not divine. That's indivine. But here, their narcissistic arrogance, their insatiable pride, their deceitfulness, and their vast ignorance. Because it's what do these people who are giggling and mocking, all that is? What do they know? They don't know much, There's just this primal knowledge. It's 666. That's what they know. They know the atomic coupling of 666, and it's not only just little bit sickening, but the fact that it is tremendously violent. You see these people in action. They're not doing nothing. Oh, if only we were so lucky these people were doing nothing. They're out there actively engaged. And I want to go some of the false doctrines. They simplify, the Bible. It's so simple that these people have such a full understanding. If you think about the name of God, and here's one, when people take the Lord's name in vain. These are those giggling narcissists. They think that taking the Lord's name in vain is if you stub your toe, you go, oh, you say, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, that's not the Lord's name in vain. Oh my gosh, that's them taking the Lord's name, and they're really sticklers for it. That's when you're eating ice cream on Sunday, these people will brutally assault you. Okay, it's just they're saying, oh my gosh, brutally assault you, and they're really straining for gnats. This is I'm looking all over on the internet here, watching all these online preachers. And they're really going guys, you know what we got to do? We got to start straining for some gnats. We got to look for these little things and this. And meanwhile, the big picture is completely, they don't want to address it. And I'm how about censorship? How about you guys stop censoring people? Stop spreading your religious feel-good narcissism. How about that? And stop censoring people when they point out all the fallacies of your arguments, which is numerous. It's tens of thousands of errors that you're not allowed to point out any of them. And it's just these ridiculous people. Lord's name in vain, what it means is when you're speaking for the highest God and you're just a narcissistic virtue signaler, okay? And you're straining for gnats, okay? You go, I believe in the Lord most holy. And you're ignoring the fact that we have absolute vulgarity going on. If you want to, take a look at what I'm talking about, take a look at some of the things I'm discussing, and it's in relation of the tens of thousands of things that are serious issues. It's not gnats. It's not a couple of gnats. We're talking about a lot of very serious issues. And these holier-than-thou people, they go, oh, I don't worry about anything, and believe those people are going to jump out of their seats if you're eating ice cream on Sunday, if you say, oh my gosh. These are cruel people. They're cruel. And it's not a shortage of these people. You can see there's another censor. He has this little forum. He's got a Wikipedia page, and he's a felon. He's a felon who was laundering money and stealing millions of dollars. He did prison time, and he was he's a manipulative con artist, complete selfish liar, and he's like a little celebrity star. And he's sitting there, the opposite of the truth. He's sitting there spreading it. He believes in censorship. He thinks that the millennials have destroyed the world with their beliefs. And it's like, that has nothing to do in reality. In reality, it's the people who are running the institutions. Who dropped the ball. Not the people who just got here. That's a ridiculous, non-rational, nonsensical thing. Only a corrupt person could conclude that, hey, it's the people who just arrived. And it's so many conflicting concepts that are being held together by a group of these confused people. Because here's some more doctrine this guy's saying. He believes in censorship, and he says, oh no, there's no original sin, okay? And then the same guy, he says no original sin. He says everybody's sinning. So he's contradicting himself, and you can't just simply point that out because he's going to censor that. You understand? So his dogma is so faulted, and then he's being promoted by the algorithms. So he had like no commenters on his page a couple of days ago. I arrive, he censors me, and now he's got 1,000. He's got 500 plus commenters, and it's a celebration. And he's zooming onto his 10,000 subscribers now. He's like going to the stratosphere, and this is just in a couple of days, okay? and you go, what is this? This is designed violation of humanity and its people. This is designed. This is the people pushing those algorithms. This guy's not pushing the truth. He's pushing obvious lies. Obvious lies about what? About the Bible, right? And he's presenting himself as a holy warrior of God. And he's, like I said, completely conflicted right on the face. It's like 30 seconds in his video, he's like saying, oh, children, this is a doctrine, they're all false, they're all born sinless. I go, well, no, that's not a biblical doctrine. Biblical doctrine says there is original sin. That's a Catholic sentimentality from scriptures that they malign. They're twisting scriptures, and it's a Catholic sentimentality that the children are blameless. Most people actually agree with the Catholics. They don't take the biblical accounting, and we can discuss the matter if there wasn't censorship, but there is. So you're not going to discuss this matter with the censors. It's thousands of biblical topics like this that they're censoring. Okay, this guy goes on and on and on, and it's like, what's the Lord's name in vain? The Lord's name in vain is when you start speaking for God out of place. You're not speaking the right things. And is this guy using the Lord's name in vain? Surely he is. What's his prescription? He's saying, oh, we can be sinless. Okay, well, John says we can't be sin. Anyone claiming to be free of sin, anybody is a liar. That's what it says. Pretty simple. Anyone claiming to be free of sin. And here's how that works. So if you're in a place and you're hanging out, okay, and you go, those are my friends right there. That could be very well a sin. Oh, what do you mean? Well, when those guys are taking the orphanage and just pillaging it and desecrating it and the people and desecrating it and lying and slandering and you're saying, that's my buddy, I'm going to celebrate with them. That's a sin. And that's something going on all the time. We see that going on all the time. That's a major sin. It's not a gnat. It's the camel. They let pass. They're straining for gnats, but they let pass the camel. Here it is. That's what's going on. What does this guy say? He's completely oblivious to it. And what is his prescription? To become a narcissistic, self-centered, cruel, and vulgar, non-conscious being. Quite specifically, he's saying you have to be a non-conscious being, and they take delight in all the cruelties and vulgarities that they're involved in. They're not on the watchtower. They're not on the lookout. They're not protecting the people. They're not speaking out against injustice. They're completely decadent and insatiable vulgarity.